Hello to our Year 9 parents and carers. My name is Mrs. Ackroyd. I am the careers leader here at Shuttleworth College. I just wanted to update you a little bit on what Post16 options look like at the moment. As your child is making their GCSE options, we are talking to them about things that will come up in the future so that they've got that longer term perspective on the importance of their GCSE options at the moment. However, there have been quite a lot of changes to the Post16 landscape over the last couple of years, so it's time for an update to parents and carers as well. So this year, your child is going to be choosing their GCSE options. We are going to do a lot of work in school around this to make sure that every child chooses the right options for them and that they are going to be supported through that. But we do support them at every stage of their decision making. So the Year 9 options at the minute are going to lead to them preparing their employability skills next year and making Post16 options choices the year after that. This is a really good opportunity for our Year 9 students to just look a little bit further ahead and to think about their potential education or career route in the future. So GCSEs have changed over the last couple of years. Some of you with older children might be aware of these, that GCSE grades don't come in letters anymore, they come in numbers. For each GCSE subject your child does, they will receive a grade between 1 and 9. 1 is the lowest grade, 9 is the highest. In terms of equivalence, grade 9 is like an A star. It's a smaller proportion of the students who would have got an A star on the old system. A grade 4 is about the equivalent of a C, but they don't sort of directly align to where they used to be. You will hear a lot of colleges and providers, and as well as school, talking about the importance of GCSE English language and maths. And that is because it's actually a requirement of all students to achieve a grade 4. If this isn't something they manage to do in school, they would resit these two subjects in college, either alongside their course or as part of a pathways course to progress in the future. BTEC subjects have slightly different grade profiles, so instead of those numbers or even letters, they come in pass, merit or distinction, and these work up through levels. So it might be from level 1 pass to merit to distinction, and then moving up into level 2 pass, merit, distinction, and then there's even a distinction star grade. So what happens after Shuttleworth? We encourage all of our students to know that every subject can help their future progression, not just in terms of the subject knowledge that they are accruing, but the skills that they are developing in each of those subjects as well. We really want to promote the view that the more qualifications your child earns, the more choice they will have over what they do after year 11. And this is particularly the case in terms of the subjects they could do and the level of qualification they could access, but also even sometimes the places they could study, the type of assessment they can choose to do, and as you may well know, the types of employment and the range of money that you could earn afterwards. So, Post16 options. At the moment, there are 4 choices of what your child could do. The participation age for educational training in this country was raised from 16 to 18 quite a few years ago. So it is a requirement that your child is in education or training until they are 18 years old. These types of courses here all fulfill that requirement, but they're all really different. So it means that your child can choose the method of study that is going to help them the best. A-levels are probably the ones that most people are familiar with. There are generally a 2-year course with a choice of 3 or 4 subjects. They do tend to be more traditional subjects. I'll show you a range in a moment. And they are mainly theory-based and have less practical work. Most of the assessment comes by exam at the end of the 2nd year, so in that sense they're really similar to GCSEs. Independent work on A-levels is absolutely vital. It's really common that your child wouldn't have a full timetable on A-levels. It would be classed as full time, but they would have gaps within that timetable for independent work. The entry requirements for A-levels are at least 5 GCSEs at grade 5 and above. Some subjects and some sixth forms ask for higher. Just to give you an example of the range of A-level subjects, you'll see a lot of subjects there that your child can study with us here in school, but there are a wider range of things as well, newer subjects that your child can pick up. T-levels are another 2-year course, and these are the ones that are really, really new. At the moment, that means there's a limited range of providers for them and subjects on offer, but these are increasing. So by the time your child gets to year 11, the range of these will have increased. At the moment, your child would choose one main subject, but then specialise in the second year. So for instance, they might choose a digital course and move into things like website development within the second year. 80% of the time we spent in college, 20% on a long-term work placement. And the assessment is mixed. It's partly by exam, partly by coursework, and partly practical. They have been developed with employers, so the idea is that they are modern, they're up to date, and they're addressing skills gaps that are current. Entry is very similar to A-levels for these, so at least 5 GCSEs at grades 4 and 5 or above. Providers do vary a little bit, but including that English language and maths. Just to give you an example at the moment, this is what's on offer in our area, so just from Burnley College and the Nelson and Colne College group, so that includes Accrington and Rosendale College as well. So you can see they're not available in every sector at the moment, but Blackburn College is picking these up from 2023 as well, and the range should expand to 15 T-level areas in the next few years. Vocational subjects are the next option. It's one subject which leads into a work area, and these include things like BTECs, MBQs, City and Guilds. They're really, really broad, really wide-ranging. They are assessed mainly by ongoing coursework. There are some exams, some practical work dependent on course. There's quite often a work experience element for putting skills into practice. And the really good thing about vocational courses is that there are different levels to suit students coming in with different GCSE grades. And there are opportunities for progression within those vocational subjects. So students might start on level 3, the highest level they can access in this age group, straight away. Or they might start at level 2 and progress up to level 3. They might start at level 1 and progress up to level 3. There's just a little note here in that some subjects will require students to start on a particular level because they've never done anything like it in school before. So for instance, it's really common for any students going into a construction trade to start at level 1. It's very common for students who want to go into hair and beauty to start at level 2, even if they would have the grades for an alternative level 3 course. Just some examples here of the types of vocational courses that are available. It's a really, really big range, and every college has something different on offer. Apprenticeships have changed even since you and I were at school, and the standards are much more rigorous of these now. It's one subject aligned to a job role, and I think what we try and get across to students is this is a proper job. This isn't work experience, this is paid full-time work. That work is undertaken for 80% of the time, and it's a requirement of the apprenticeship that off-the-job training is 20% of the time. This might be in that traditional 4 days at work, 1 day at college model, or it might even be with longer-term block placements done in conjunction with the training providers and the employers. I think it's really important that students remember that these are full-time jobs, so it's standard working holidays, for instance, not school holidays, but with that also comes a great deal of employment rights as well. They are done with an employer in conjunction with the training provider. Now, the application process for these are longer than a standard college or sixth form process because there are multiple interviews and generally multiple stages where students are proving themselves. The entry requirements vary between courses and employers, but it is, I think, fair to say that the higher the results, the better the chances. But your child would also need to demonstrate skills and research into things and work experience as well. Apprenticeships are available in almost everything now. It just varies between providers on who offers what kind of framework. So just a quick summary here. This is available on our website if you want to just have a look at it later. I've mentioned levels a few times, so just to explain, we obviously want students to start as high up this chart as possible and keep progressing. And you can see what they can access with varying grades. Now, there are courses that come at a lower than level 1. For students that this affects, we speak to them individually. It's more of a bespoke provision, and it includes things like traineeships, which help students access apprenticeships at a slightly later date. It helps them to build up English, maths, IT skills, employability skills, and preparation for work. There are also lower level vocational courses, again, which prepare students for further study, as well as helping them achieve qualifications. Now, in the past, it has been the case that not all qualifications were equal depending on what you wanted to do. However, that isn't really what happens anymore. There is parity between these courses and where they can lead to. So all 4 of those options, A-levels, T-levels, vocational and apprenticeships, can lead to university degrees, can lead to higher and degree apprenticeships, and can lead to employment. Now, the caveat here is that depending on what somebody has chosen, it might not be the most direct route, it might not be the easiest route, there might be needs to pick up additional qualifications along the way, but none of these things should bar somebody from entering higher education or higher level training. Just to let you know, higher and degree apprenticeships are really interesting and they're expanding. They can be absolutely brilliant because students earn a degree, a full degree, while they are going through an apprenticeship style process. So they're working but earning a degree at the same time. This typically means that employers have paid the tuition fees, and because they're working full-time, they're actually getting a salary at the same time. The downside is they take a little bit longer, and obviously managing full-time employment with essentially full-time study is a major commitment. If you want to find more information, please get in touch with me. I'm accessible by email, which is here on the screen. Encourage your child to come and speak to me or to use their school email as well. My office is right in the centre of school in the atrium, so it's really, really easy for students to find me. I tell students that no question is too small to bother me with, and that they are not expected to know everything. I'm here to help. I also encourage students to ask their teachers about the progression opportunities within their subjects and maybe even the routes that they took. Students can use the careers section in the library. I encourage them to use websites and social media channels. You will start to be invited to open events from different colleges and providers as well. So going in person is a great opportunity to see what's available in our local area. I'd encourage students to use BBC Bite-Sized Careers because they have some short but brilliant case studies on different opportunities for progression within subjects and understanding different job roles. There is also a lot of information and lots of links that are available on the careers section of our website. I'd like to thank you very much for your time. I hope I've managed to answer some questions. Like I say, please feel free to get in touch if you have any questions yourself either.